So first of all, go on and peep it. That's the end of the discussion. Y'all already know that. Anywho, in the past part of my life, I was a track athlete, more specifically a quarter horse. And many times as I recount times of competition, I had to run the 4x4. Where me and 3 other athletes have to run 400 meters in a relay, and we would try to win the race, and I was the anchor leg. I was the last leg. I was the one that had to close the meet out, put a stamp on the competition, ensuring we the dominant individuals for the day. And see, in St. Louis, specifically at U City, during my time and tenure in high school, sometimes my team would place me at a disadvantage. Sometimes by the time I got the baton on last leg, there'll be about 3-4 other athletes in front of me. And see, there were some individuals that watched me throughout my time and tenure throughout high school. And they would assess the situation and say conclusively, they far, but they not far enough. Yeah, he's at a disadvantage. There's a gap between him and who's in first place. We just saying the gap not big enough. As a matter of fact, unless an athlete was off the curve, by the time the baton got in my hand, they'd begin making a sound, whoop, signifying to the other athletes, you better run, cause somebody coming. I wanna focus on the key statement from the Unks where they would say, he's at a disadvantage. It's just not enough. In other words, his disadvantage don't mean he can't win. Let me speak to the individual that may be enduring some difficulty or walking through some warfare, and I simply want to make a suggestion that we can see the disadvantage, we can acknowledge it, but we also have to conclusively make the statement saying, it's just not enough. See, I don't know who I'm talking to, and I do not intend to be emotionally dismissive. I'm not going to ignore the disadvantage. See, because that's delusion, not faith. But by faith, we just have to say, whatever gets done to me, it's simply not enough to stop what God is trying to do through me. See, don't know who needed the reminder, but there's still a promise that preceded pain. See, because I know pain presents one reality, but promise submits another reality. And the inconsistency is where there's agitation because you believe the promise over the pain. And the inconsistency is what we're going to consider the God gap, suggesting that the difficulty of the situation is simply the setup for us to see not that God is sovereign, but how sovereign. In the same way, the size of the gap in the race simply is the setup for it to be seen, not just that I'm fast, but how fast. See, because when you deal with a certain situation that subsequently gives you a certain degree of revelation, you begin to look at the same adversity with a certain type of boldness in your soul saying, I'm still hurt, it's just not enough. I'm dealing with some discouragement. This experience is adverse. It's just not enough though. Like you start to walk through enough to where you start saying things like, if God be for me, like who can see?